welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a topic that, well, it's always relevant, money, but maybe not high-level economics. We're focusing on something really practical.
Yeah, like the actual words we use.
Exactly, the everyday vocabulary, so
Yeah.
you can, confidently discuss your finances.
Right. Budgeting, saving, expenses.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Our mission today is basically to pull out the most useful language from our source material.
Make those conversations maybe a bit less daunting.
Hopefully, yeah. More straightforward.
And the source we're using, it's actually a transcript designed for English language learners, which is great.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, it breaks down key terms really clearly, and it shows them being used in like a real conversation.
Okay.
Plus, it gives you phrases you can just sort of pick up and use. We've gone through it to find the best bits, the real core tools you need.
Good. Because, let's face it, we all deal with money, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes just finding the right words is the tricky part.
It really can be.
So where should we start? Some basics, maybe.
Absolutely. Let's look at some fundamental vocabulary. The bedrock, you could say.
Okay.
How about budget? Our source defines it pretty simply. A plan for how you spend your money.
A plan, right? So it's about being intentional.
Exactly. Consciously directing your funds, not just letting things happen. The example they give is, I'm on a tight budget this month, so I'm eating at home more often.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It shows how the word links directly to, like, actual choices you make every day. It's not just some abstract spreadsheet idea. It affects whether you eat out or not.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then you've got expensive. Pretty straightforward, means it costs a lot.
Yeah, like the example, that designer bag is too expensive for me. Says it all, really.
It's quick, it's clear, establishes a limit.
Or a preference, maybe.
True. And the opposite is affordable. Reasonably priced, basically. Not too expensive.
Okay.
The source uses, this apartment is affordable and close to work, which shows how you weigh things up, doesn't it?
Yeah, balancing practicality, cost, real-life decisions.
And it's amazing how often these three words, budget, expensive, affordable, just pop up all the time. They're really fundamental.
Okay, so we've got the basic building blocks,
Yeah.
but the source also has, like, a conversation example.
It does, yeah. And this is where it gets really useful, I think. It's between two friends, Sophie and Daniel, and they're talking about saving up for a trip to Paris, actually.
Ooh, nice. So it's not theory, it's practical application.
Totally. You see Daniel explaining what he's actually doing. He's made a monthly budget, first one.
Okay, so he can see where the money's going.
Right. And then he mentions cutting back on eating out, which is, a classic.
A big one for lots of people.
Definitely. And canceling subscriptions, too, things he wasn't really using.
Smart. Those little things add up.
They do. And he's actually saved $300 already. It makes it feel, well, doable.
Yeah, seeing a concrete number helps. And what about Sophie? How does she react?
Well, that's interesting, too. She kind of has this moment of realization. She admits she spends too much on takeout, and she starts thinking maybe she should try Daniel's approach.
Ah, that sounds familiar. Seeing someone else manage their money can really make you reflect on your own habits.
It's such a common dynamic, isn't it? A catalyst for thinking things through.
Yeah. So this dialogue, it really grounds the vocabulary in a situation we can all kind of picture.
Exactly. It shows how these terms work in the wild, so to speak. It's not just knowing the definitions, it's seeing the conversation happen.
Okay, so building on that, the transcript then pulls out specific phrases from that conversation.
Yeah, some really handy ones that Daniel uses. First up is save up.
Save up, meaning putting money aside for something specific later on.
Deliberately setting it aside. The example is, I'm saving up for a new laptop. Clear goal, clear action.
Makes sense. And then those cut back on.
Ah, yes, cut back on. I like this one too.
Why is that?
Because, like you said earlier about Daniel, it suggests reducing, not necessarily eliminating completely, moderation.
Right. Less drastic, maybe?
Yeah. And the example, I'm trying to cut back on coffee runs to save money. I mean, who can't relate to that?
Guilty. Those daily coffees.
They add up, which we'll get to. But first, there's also the word expenses.
Oh, right. Just the general term for everything you spend money on.
Yep. Rent, food, gas, those subscriptions Daniel canceled, all expenses.
It seems obvious, but actually naming them, maybe listing them out, is pretty key for budgeting, isn't it?
It's fundamental. You need to know what your expenses are. And what's cool about these phrases, save up, cut back on, is they're action words. They help you talk about what you're doing with your money.
Right, moves beyond just labeling things. Okay, so we've got basic words, seen them in action, got some practical phrases. What about boosting fluency? Making it sound more natural.
Good question. The transcript highlights a few expressions for that too, like I'm on a tight budget.
Okay, so that's a quick way to say you don't have much wiggle room with spending.
Exactly. You need to be careful. The example. I can't go out this weekend. I'm on a tight budget. It's polite, it's clear, no need for long explanations.
Yeah, gets the point across efficiently. What else?
Another really good one. It adds up.
We kind of touched on this with the coffee runs.
We did. It nails that idea that small costs repeated over time become a big amount.
Like the coffee example. Buying coffee every day doesn't seem like much, but it adds up. Perfect illustration.
It really is. It's a great phrase for explaining why you might be cutting back on something seemingly small.
Makes the reasoning clear. Okay, one more.
The last one is track your spending.
Which sounds pretty active.
It is. It's about actively monitoring where your money's going, not just guessing.
Like using an app.
Yeah, the example is exactly that. I use an app to track my spending and stay on budget. Shows a tool and the purpose.
And that connects back to Daniel, right? You probably need to track your spending before you know where to cut back.
Often, yeah. It's usually the first step to getting a real handle on things. Identify first, then act.
So, as we're talking through all this, maybe it's a good moment for you, listening, to think about your own situation.
Does any of this resonate? Like Daniel's approach, the budget, the cutting back?
Or even just the idea of tracking things more closely. Does any of that feel like something that might be, well, useful for you?
And think about the language itself. How could you start weaving these words and phrases in?
Yeah, like maybe next time you're planning something with friends.
We could be the one to say, hey, maybe we should set a budget for this. Or just mention, I'm trying to save up for X right now.
Right. It's about actually using the language, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moving from just understanding to, well, communicating.
That's the goal.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap. We've looked at essential terms: budget, expensive, affordable.
Yep. Seen them used in that Sophie and Daniel conversation.
Got some practical phrases like save up and cut back on.
And those fluency boosters, I'm on a tight budget, it adds up, track your spending.
The main takeaway, really, is hopefully feeling a bit more comfortable, more capable when money talk comes up.
Definitely. Confidence is key.
So maybe a final thought for you to consider. What's one small thing you could do, like today or tomorrow?
Doesn't have to be huge. Maybe just look at your bank statement with these ideas in mind. Or try using one of the phrases.
Or just think about one area where maybe, just maybe, things add up.
Yeah. What aspect of managing your money, maybe armed with a few new words, are you curious to explore a bit more now?